Say hi in a little bit. I'm going to start off with Anton Becker, Eric's older brother.
Hello, everybody. Wow, my family is psyched. This is amazing. I love the turnout. Thank you, everybody, for being here. But now I'm going to give you a geographic and historical lesson. About 100 years ago, our relatives came from Germany and Ireland. They came to this country and they worked their ass off. And they had good fortune too, because the O'Donnells met the Beckers. Then another guy, about 30 years ago, he left New Jersey, which was our original home. And he came out to Colorado to broaden our family's horizons. And he worked his ass off too. And he also had good fortune. And that good fortune is looking at me right now. Everybody here today, everybody in Steamboat that supported him, that loved him, that partied with him, thank you. You guys are the best. So thank you, Slopeside. Thank you, Steamboat. Thank you, Colorado. Thank you, America.
Thank you, Eric Becker!
But now you need to hear a little bit more about the man. Here's my sister Ellen to tell you about him.
You gonna hold me up? I wrote this the night that Eric died at about 3 o'clock in the morning because I just couldn't sleep. I thought, I'm just gonna put it out there. So I didn't know if I would cry or not. It sounds like I'm going to. So get your tissues. All right. Eric died March 22nd, 2018. But he lived, he really lived, from November 21st, 1969 until his passing. Letters and memories, stories have bolstered me during this dark time. I will always try to share a story when someone passes. It means so much to the family. Eric was our baby brother. When he was born, I was 8 years old, perfect age to be a mother's helper. The day he was born, my father was at home at the phone. He jumped with real joy. He had a boy. My girlfriend, Lori Hansen, came home from school with me that day. Dad gave her a cigar, and she replied, "I don't smoke." I loved my baby brother. He was a beautiful baby. His hair was blonde ringlets, the color that doesn't come in a box. Sometimes we would set him up as older siblings do. We would tell him, "Spin like a top," and he would go round and round, get dizzy and fall over, leaving us in fits of giggles. There was another time, Anton taught him to say truck with his fingers in his mouth. I think they both got their mouths washed out with soap. We drove our mother to distraction. Eric was considered a hyper child, but he was happy and calm on a mound of dirt playing with his toy trucks. Anton was playing baseball and Eric was paving roads with his Tonka trucks at the Little League field. It proved to be a lifelong calling for Eric to work and play outdoors. Skiing was Eric's passion. He first skied at Middlebury Snowball. Anton was in college, I was in high school, Leslie was in middle school, and Eric was about 8 years old. I would be trying to get down the mountain in one piece, and Eric would fly by in a tucked position. Before he could drive, he would ask me to take him and his friends to Mountain Creek to ski. I would ski a few hours and then read my book in the warm lodge, while Eric skied every inch of the mountain. It was no surprise when Eric decided to go to school in Steamboat Springs. There is only one problem with going to school in Steamboat Springs: powder days. The mountain called and Eric answered. He was the most beautiful skier I have ever seen. He skied as though it was breathing. I had the pleasure of skiing with him over the last 20 years in Steamboat. Eric taught both my kids to ski. Elizabeth would go down the hill under her uncle's guidance. I can still see him skiing with Elizabeth down Why Not for 5 miles. I always joked with Eric that he was able to see more of the mountain, the green trails, when we were in town. Beck shared his Uncle Eric's passion for skiing. Eric was so pleased to ski with Beck and his college friends, Nick and Trish, over the years. They filmed parts of the mountain I will never see, the scary parts. There were many trips with lifelong memories made. Dinners at Cafe Diva and the Laundry, the Orr House, Slopeside, lunch at the Hut and the T-Bar, breakfast at the Shack and Johnny B. Good's, drinking at the Tugboat. Eric also cooked and hosted us in his home. He grilled swordfish and cooked vegetables. He even ended the meal with fresh, out-of-the-oven chocolate chip cookies. He was so happy to entertain us in his home. He was a proud man. After dinner, we drove by the herd of elk in his neighborhood and enjoyed the beauty of it all. Eric owned a few homes. He rented his homes to friends and strangers who then became friends. If someone had trouble paying the rent, he would barter services. He was a fair man, generous and kind. I love him. He worked with his hands. He was so talented. My mom and dad would save up to do jobs for him when he traveled to Florida. There is an unfinished list waiting. We all have unfinished lists for our brother, son, uncle. I love him. Eric was a man for all seasons. He loved winter and summer alike. He loved to boat and fish, especially in LBI and the Florida Keys. Every year, he rented a house in the Keys for a month. This year, he was heading further south to Panama. He was a world explorer. I love him. Eric was a man of few words. That is, until he had a few drinks. Then he would tell you how he really felt. He would get really physically close to your face. In your personal space, give you a bear hug and say repeatedly, "I love you, Ellen. I really, really love you." He loved his family, his mom and dad, siblings, nieces, and nephews. He refused to miss a Christmas in New Jersey because it was a priority for him to be there. Eric died as he lived. He was hardworking, a tough and dangerous job. He earned his way and he paid his bills. He is an American hero, a great citizen. Eric became a donor through the Donor Alliance. He's helping others live long and healthy lives. A beautiful legacy, our beautiful brother. He is our hero. I love him.